If you want winning picks, football insights, a big Super Bowl bet, and of course, who's in trouble? Don't go anywhere. Welcome everyone. I'm Jordan Schultz, and this is Take the Points, sponsored by Betfred Sports. Let's get right to it and run the table with what happened in an action-packed Week 4. Before the season began, Arizona was listed at plus 3,500 to win the Super Bowl with an over-under prop of 8.5. Through Week 4, they're the league's lone undefeated team at 4-0. Kyler Murray's playing excellent football. He is the league MVP favorite at plus 700. He's accounted for 12 touchdowns and tops the NFL in completion percentage, over 75%. I talked to Cliff Kingsbury. He feels like the team is just scratching the surface. I feel like Arizona's only just getting started. Let's talk Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, who are plus 1,600 to win the Super Bowl. A much bigger number than it should be. Go grab that right now while you still can. But Dak is playing some great football. He's the comeback player of the year, I think. He's completing 75% of his passes, which trails only Kyler Murray. And obviously, with Zeke Elliott pounding the football, they have an absolutely dominant attack in the backfield to complement those great receivers. And I'd be remiss if I didn't give love to Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, who've won 3 straight. And oh, by the way, Lamar Jackson, he's thrown for over 275 back-to-back weeks after doing so just once in his first 40 starts. The Ravens are for real. Let's bring in our man, Jason Silva from Betfred Sports. Jason, let's get into some early lines that our viewers might really like and might want to jump on, specifically the Rams opening -2 in Seattle Thursday night.
Hey, Jordan. Yeah, I really like the Rams here in this spot. I think it's a perfect bounce back. I think we're going to see the market move here closer to a field goal, if not past a field goal. And that's really why I like it here. I think this one will move. We saw Seattle play really well last week, but I think the Sharps will continue to pound on the Rams as the week continues, and we'll see this number closer to a field goal, if not past a field goal, come kickoff.
Moving on to Pittsburgh, -1.5 against Denver. Big Ben looks like a corpse right now. He was awful against Green Bay, other than that opening drive where he hit Deontay Johnson for 6. I'm really concerned about this line, -1.5. But as you've noted, Denver is pretty banged up.
Yeah, so we saw this one actually open the other way, -1 Broncos. And they got to travel across the country here. I think this is a spot as well. This number will grow. A key inflection point in the market, and we'll see later in the week, is injury updates, right? As we get into, it's Tuesday here. We'll see Thursday, Friday, how these injury updates come through. If Teddy Bridgewater's playing, this number could come back a little bit, but I'm counting on him being out from what I hear. And with that said, I think the number will continue to grow in favor of a team, the Steelers team, who hasn't looked great in past weeks. You're right about that, but I think it's a really good spot to get on the Steelers right now.
New England is -8.5 against the Texans. This line, to me, feels like it's only going to go up. You know, Houston just got lit up 40-0 against Buffalo. New England comes off this super emotional loss, but nonetheless gets arguably the worst team in the league. So it's 8.5 now. How much bigger can this line get?
I think it gets up to that key number of 10. It opened at 7. We've already seen it jump to 8.5 immediately following that performance by the Houston on Sunday. This team's let up 200-plus yards on the ground in back-to-back football games. It's a perfect spot for the Patriots to get rolling on the ground, a team who has not been able to run the football to this point. I think they're able to gash the Texans through the air and on the ground, and this number should be up past the key number of 10.
All right, Jason, thanks so much. We'll get back to you in a little bit so we can do our best bets of the week head-to-head. With decades of experience, Betfred Sports brings you one of the best sports betting experiences in Colorado, Iowa, and Pennsylvania with a variety of betting options, including in-game wagering, teasers, tons of prop bets, and more. Excited now to talk some LA football with former Rams reporter Serena Morales, who also hosts pre-gaming right here on the game day. Serena, Monday night, big win for the Chargers at home, but it didn't really feel like a home game against the Raiders. So can you explain to me what's going on at SoFi?
I think the weather was the only thing that was cheering for the Chargers, the Bolts, if you will. Yeah, it's tough because when you look at the history of football in California, the poor state had the Niners up north and formerly the Oakland Raiders up north. And the Rams were in LA, and then they left to St. Louis. And the Chargers, they're down in San Diego. They've got their own big city. They're chilling over there. And then all of a sudden, 2016, everyone's like, we're going to LA, just like the rest of the New Yorkers that are all now filling up the 101 and the 405. And so there's aggravation here. LA doesn't want any more traffic. They're tired. They'll take the Rams back because they were already here. But the Chargers, they're going to have a very difficult time acclimating themselves. Thank goodness they have a good quarterback like Justin Herbert, whose hair post-game looked a little bit like an old Justin Bieber.
So he's in his second year. He's an MVP candidate. He is the face of the franchise. But it feels like even he takes a back seat to Matthew Stafford. How would you compare the quarterbacks in terms of like star power in LA between Stafford and Herbert?
Matthew Stafford is sort of like the guy you can go to. I think of them both like coffee shops, right? And you've got the old movie stars. They all go to that one Mel's Diner and they trust it and they get their coffee mug and they're like, yep, I'm sticking with this place. I've been there since 1960 when my name was put on the Hollywood sign. And here comes Justin Herbert and he's like, hey guys, I just started this new, health cleanse, new coffee shop. It's micro-brewed. It's very exciting. And please welcome to my coffee. Like, people will buy into this. But right now, there's a lot of the old folks, they're leading with Mel's Diner here. However, I'm all for a micro-brew. I'm all for a new, mom and pop shop. If they can keep, putting out a good product, I think there will slowly be fans that will be bandwagon fans, but there will be fans.
What doesn't make sense to me is that the Rams are a 2-point favorite Thursday night against the Seahawks. Now, I like the Rams in this game, but I was surprised that after Seattle's big road win against the Niners, that at home, they're a dog. So, in your eyes, break down Thursday night, Rams-Seahawks in Seattle.
Russell Wilson has his friend on the other side of the line, number 99, Aaron Donald. Loves to find any Russell Wilson in his life, loves listening to Sierra, loves to sack Sierra's husband, Russell Wilson. Aaron Donald is so good. He's one of the highest efficiency rates for sacking poor Russell Wilson. I think that's why initially they were trying to leave the Seahawks. I do think that there is a reason that they are favored to win this game. The Rams lost this game against the Arizona Cardinals in a weird fashion. The Cardinals ran the ball a lot. I think that confused because Kyler Murray is so mobile. There's going to be some growing pains. I think there was a lot of focus on the secondary. Even though there's a lot of mobile quarterbacks, people love to throw the ball deep. They have that with Jalen Ramsey being the star, and he's sort of taken the position to do whatever he wants, specifically in that secondary. Yes, they did get that big win. This is the NFC West. They're all going to beat each other up. And the Rams play well against the Seahawks. They have similar players from last year. Shane Waldron, former offensive coach for the Rams, is now the OC and is working really well with Russell Wilson. But Sean McVay knows who Shane Waldron is. Sean McVay knows very well who Russell Wilson is and his tendencies. I agree. I think that the Rams are going to come back. Their defense has some growing pains. They've been tweaking it all season long. And so they're going to recover. And I think the Rams in general are a better team and have shown that through the 4 weeks of the NFL season.
Okay, so the big news of the week in LA, at SoFi Stadium, we will have Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar all performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. It's going to be an incredible performance. But I got to ask you, Serena, what are the chances of an all-LA Super Bowl Rams-Chargers?
I wouldn't put it past LA to have this. The world might explode. I already thought the world exploded when the Jets and Giants won in overtime for the first time that ever happened in history. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Brandon Staley, new head coach for the Chargers, was the former defensive coordinator for the Rams when they were the number one defense in the league. Super Bowls somehow come up with these beautiful stories. We saw it with Tampa Bay last year. Oh, Tom Brady leaves, his buddy Bill Belichick. He goes down to Tampa. He joins Bruce Arians. They win the Super Bowl. They play in their stadium. There's COVID. Here we go. Chargers, Rams. You've got gelled out Sean McVay and, Brandon Staley, very calm, cool, collected. And then you've got your new microbrew with your Mel's Diner facing off. Yeah. I wouldn't put it past it.
Serena Morales, thank you so much for taking the time. We'll see you Sunday on Pre-Gaming right here on The Game Day. Thanks, Serena.
Thanks, Jordan.
Before we bring back Jason Silva for Best Bets, let's get to my big dog of the week. Last week, I went a perfect 2-0, picking the two NFC road dogs Arizona over the Rams, and the Seahawks over the Niners. 2 outright winners. This week, I just got one dog I really love. We're going to the jungle for the Bengals, getting 3.5 at home versus the Pack. Joe Burrow last week, 132.8 passer rating. That led all quarterbacks, almost 80% completion, including the game-winning drive. He's playing the best football of his career. Looks really comfortable in that offense. And Green Bay's defense, a little susceptible down the field. Cincinnati plus 3.5 at home. That's my best bet dog of the week. All right, now what you've been waiting for, we bring back Jason Silva of Betfred Sports for our best bets of week 5. Jason, Rams -2 at Seattle. That's your top one, or one of them at least?
Yeah, definitely one of my best bets. Bettors like to really be short-term memory, right? What do we see on Sunday? And people get influenced really easily. I wouldn't be so quick to jump on this Seattle bandwagon. This defense, the weeks prior, led up 30-piece 2 weeks in a row to Minnesota and Tennessee. And on the other end of that, we saw the Rams last week look really, really poor against a really good Cardinals team. I think it's a great spot for the Rams. I think the public bettor is going to see, Seattle's getting points at home. They looked great last week. Not so quick. Only a week ago, we thought the Rams team was a world beater, right? They were going to be the next big thing out of the NFC, and I'm still on that bandwagon.
Okay, Steelers -1.5. We've talked about the potential movement with Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock, but right now, you like Pittsburgh -1.5 against Denver.
I do. Again, I think the number's going to grow as we get these injury updates later in the week, and I just think it's a great spot for the Steelers to buy low on them. Again, traveling across country, west to east, is no easy task in a banged-up Broncos team. Yeah, give me the Steelers in the point, laying the points at home.
So I like Kansas City -3, hosting the Bills. Obviously, Buffalo just walloped Houston. Kansas City had a big bounce-back win, but you like the Bills getting 3 at Arrowhead.
Yeah, and I expect actually this isn't one we mentioned earlier as a mover, but I think this will 100% be under 3 come kickoff on Sunday Night Football. It's going to be a very anticipated game. We're going to see a lot of late action on it as it's the late Sunday game. We know everybody's either chasing or trying to double up on a Sunday afternoon when this is the only game rolling around. I really like the Bills here. I think this is one of the best teams in the AFC, if not the best team in the AFC. Looking at Kansas City, they're 2-12 and 1 in the last 15, dating back to last November. When talking about betting against the spread, again, this seems like a public trap. Oh, the Chiefs getting points at home. I'm selling. I'm taking the Bills on the road in Arrowhead.
Okay, so your Bet the Farm best bet of the week. This is interesting because you're going with 2 teams coming off losses. Carolina -4 against the Eagles. Now, I would ask you, is this more about Sam Darnold and how well he's played, or is it a lack of confidence in Jalen Hurts, who's been really good at times, but also we saw him struggle against Dallas?
It's actually both, Jordan. I've been actually on both those takes, actually, that Sam Darnold's going to be a great Panther under Matt Rule, and I've also been saying this, and it might sound nuts still, but I think it's coming into fruition, is Jalen Hurts isn't going to be an NFL starter for too long. I think he's a second-rate quarterback in this league, and while he is dynamic, once there's enough film on him, he's played 7-8 games as a starter, they're going to be forcing him to make plays that he doesn't want to make. And this one coming up on Sunday, yeah, I think it's a great spot for the Panthers. We get Christian McCaffrey back. Actually, this number should be closer to a touchdown, in my opinion. Although the market won't move it there, I would lay more than 4. Talking about the Panthers here, almost up to a touchdown if it ever were to get there. But that's how confident I am in the Panthers this Sunday.
Good job, Jason. And now for my best bets, which we'll keep track of all year long, how I do against our handicappers. Jason, I also love the Rams. -2 Thursday night in Seattle, under the lights. It's a great opportunity for the Rams to bounce back, specifically Matthew Stafford, who I thought missed on some intermediate and down the field throws. Ken Norton Jr., the Seahawks DC, has been under a tremendous amount of criticism. I expect Sean McVay and the Rams to take full advantage of it. More shots down the field to Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. They'll also run the ball with Darrell Henderson, who looked good in Week 4. Next up, the Chiefs, -3 against the Bills, who put up 40 last week against the Texans. Kansas City got it right last week. We saw Patrick Mahomes much more in control. Only the one pick, I thought he was really accurate. Tyreek Hill had almost 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Bills have struggled in the back half of that secondary, giving up the big play. I think this is a great opportunity for the Chiefs, -3 at home. Moving on, Dallas, -7 against the Giants, who have traditionally been very good against Big D. But Dak Prescott's playing lights out right now. He's the comeback player of the year in the NFL. Dallas is running the ball 3 straight really good weeks for Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard. And CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper are both elite wide receivers. The Giants have struggled in that secondary. I think the Cowboys roll the G-men at home. And finally, my Bet the Farm game of the week, the Chargers -1 against the Browns. Now, Justin Herbert is an elite MVP quarterback. We've seen that. But also, it's his receivers. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Austin Eckler, the running back, is playing like an absolute all-pro. My guy, Austin Eckler, who told me this season he was in the best shape of his career. And then you look at the Browns, who up front, very good. We know about Myles Garrett, potential defensive player of the year, but they've given up big plays as well in the back end of that secondary. Justin Herbert might be tops in the league when it's all said and done in terms of yards per attempt. He's very efficient in the middle of the field. I think the Chargers roll the Browns in my Bet the Farm game of the week. That's it for today. Thanks for watching Take the Points, brought to you by Betfred Sports. Sign up now and never miss a bet with BetfredSports.com, proud partner of the Denver Broncos and Colorado Rockies. And don't forget to subscribe and follow me at Jordan Schultz on Instagram, at The Game Day, and our friend Serena Morales. We'll see you next Tuesday.